Okay. So this is also new for me. I'm learning. We're just using a new. We started streaming on our page from today, you know, and the idea is to continue to separate the personal brand from the professional brand. So you are very first guest on the Transformers series, Lara. Welcome, welcome,
Thank
welcome.
you.
Yes,
Thank
I'm
you.
sure people are still looking for us on our Julia Oku page. So we've left a message there that they should join us here. And we'll just start. I'll just start with a little preamble about just thank people, thank everybody who has been plugged into us from day one. We started May, May when? May 19th? Well, May 14th or 19th, that's when we started. And there have been people who've been part of this series from that time. And other people have joined us along the way. And we've learned together, we've journeyed into this understanding of this new reality, which is unfolds every day, unfolds every day, you know. So we thank everybody for joining us. So July was a scorcher, my word. July was a real roller coaster month
Hmm.
for us. You know, how many were you able to join us on the Toolbox series?
I think I joined you.
Okay,
I've
okay,
joined you on almost all except a
okay,
few. I sometimes I've dropped in and dropped out, but I've
okay.
generally enjoyed your shows and the very interesting people that you have interviewed.
Interesting, like you, you know, because the Toolbox edition was intense. It was really, really intense. You know, I found out that people came. Our guests were all shades of interesting, all shades of informative, and very free with their knowledge, and all shades of intense as well. You know, so they really brought it. As my daughter would say, that series was lit. You know, that
Oh
series was
yeah,
lit.
oh yeah.
You know, and it was a gift that gives keeps on giving because people have asked us also what we will do um, uh, coming up. Can we do something? Can we promote something, produce something? And we're working on that. And this is all part of it. Like today, what we are doing today is really to look at another aspect of enterprise, the creative economy, and see how the people that I call the transformers are working out, business in that area. I think there was a time when it was regarded as a hobby. Hey, good morning, Antonia. Good morning, baby sis. Good morning, Gwen. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You know, welcome. Yeah. So the Transformers is a four-part series, and it takes us deep into the minds of creatives. And the creatives are from Washington, from Calabar, from Port Harcourt, and from Lagos. And we're looking at different phases of creativity, and we're looking at how creativity can be transformed into thriving business. How do you pluck an idea from somewhere and transform it into a thriving business? And how can these businesses be scaled and sustained? My thing as the lead consultant here in Julia Jack's Consulting is how to scale businesses. Whatever we do, how can we scale our businesses? So I'm sure Lara, you know that it's a conversation we've had several times. How
Yes,
can we grow?
yes.
How can we grow? So our guest today, as you can see, is Yemisi. Thank you very much. Oh, great to see you. I know you're here because of Lara, but I love to see you anyway. I haven't seen you in such a long time, please. Great to see you. Great to see you. you know. So our guest today is a designer. She's a fine artist. She's an interior architect. She's a blogger, and she's the creative director and founder of Noji Art. So please welcome my friend and your friend, Lara Cookey. Yay!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Jerry. Great to see you. So our topic today is beauty from pain. It's a strange topic, you may think, but if you've ever seen artists at work, and I've seen sculptors at work. Hi, Emeka. How you doing? Emeka is an artist too, so I think this is right up his streets. you know, I've seen artists at work. I've seen people who textile artists. I've seen sculptors. I've seen people who work with wood. I've seen fine artists. My father was an architect as well, so I used to see him bent over his drawing
Oh,
table.
wow.
So I know there is, if apart from the beauty, the other word I can use to describe your work is pain. So talk to us about the process of hey Bogofanyo, hey, I'm calling your name. I'm calling your name. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Hi Tendai. Hi Tendai. That's my sister from Zimbabwe. Tendai. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So
Mhm.
Lara, talk to us. What is the process of creation from about for you? How is it? How is that process of creation? Is it painstaking or does it just
For,
flow?
for me, I've been creating stuff since I was a child. So, in a way, it has become almost as natural as breath to me. My first partner in crime, as it was, my brother. He's just a year older
Okay.
than me. He's an architect. Many people know ATO architects and so on. But because we were just a year apart, we did a lot of things together. He's the very first friend I ever knew. And
Hmm.
so we created a lot of stuff together because it was in that era where children were not as restricted as now, and where we had the run of the compound and the house. We were outside all the time. And so, and at one point, we even made what was famously known as our science lab. And there we conducted various
Your science
experiments
lab.
and so on. Oh
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. I wonder how your
And
parents
then
felt about that.
we got in trouble sometimes because we took things and burnt them up and so on. And one of the most significant things that we did was we built what I call my very first tree house. And because
Okay.
my brother got a carpentry set, and we nailed some planks in the Y of a tree and climbed up there, and that was our tree house. Um,
Okay.
and let
You
me
read too
just
much
say
Enid
that
Blyton.
yes, yes, yes. Oh no, about that, we even had a club with all the children in the neighborhood, and it was the famous five or the fantastic eight or however
Eight
number
or
there were
there
at the
was
time.
something
It
seven.
was
Yeah,
it
as
was
well.
something, yeah. So we did all that, but I must say that because my parents were they were quite unusual in their time. They were people who nurtured and allowed all of us to develop all our talents and so on. So from the get-go, I used to make models, and my parents made it possible for me to create all sorts of things. So there's this thing where they say if you practice something for 1,000 hours, you become a
Mm-hmm.
master at it.
Yeah,
And I just
exactly.
find that because, I mean, as far back as I can remember, I have been allowed to create all sorts of things, and I've made model houses, I've done drawings, I've done all sorts of things. So, I mean, I just can't even quantify the number of hours I've spent in creative pursuits, and it just became a natural means of expression. And it wasn't even, I don't know, there's no line between Lara Cookey's life and creativity anymore. It's in everything that I do. It's in how I serve food. It's in how I cook food. It's in how I do my hair. It's in, and I found my husband actually is the one who gave me the term
Okay.
with which I understood how to express my creativity. And this was when we were dating. He said,
Yes.
"Oh, I admire spontaneous creativity."
Okay.
And so I have come to understand that what I am gifted with is spontaneous creativity. So it's a way of seeing, it's a way of living, it's a way of seeing life. So, I'll look at something and so many things jump out at me all at the same time. So I have actually had to learn the discipline of training my mind because my creativity is so big, you know. And that is the reason why, for the longest time, for about 15 years, I focused on creating playground equipment and learning materials.
Okay.
Because if I allowed my creativity to lead
To
me
run
down the
wild,
lines
yeah.
of everywhere it could go, nobody would know me for anything particular. It would be, oh, she's creative and that's it.
Okay.
So, but in terms of pain, I mean, I think there are many ways in which I have used art and my creativity as an avenue to express myself and an avenue to connect with God, and also use that as a way of creating joy for myself and encouraging myself in difficult times. I mean, many people know that I've been through a lot of health challenges and so on. And this creativity became um, an avenue of healing for me. So in there, there was a lot of pain because I just found that when I was creating, I wasn't feeling the pain of the situation. And in fact, that's how Noji Art was born, because I was going through a
Okay.
particularly difficult time. And basically, literally, I was walking into one of the rooms in my house and I saw some old canvases and so on, which are leftover canvases from my children. Two of my children paint. And so I picked those up and I picked up their acrylics and so on. And I had not done this for, I don't know, about 20 years. But I spread newspaper on my dining table, sat down, and I painted from morning till night for days. It was almost like I was possessed with something. But I think it was the Holy
You had to
Spirit
purge
because
something, you had to let something go.
I didn't even know that there was that much inside me that I had to let go. But I had survived breast cancer, for instance. So I painted and painted and painted and found that with every brush stroke, something that was painful peeled away. And I found myself in a very joyful space after that. And that is how I felt, oh, I need to share this joy with other people. And I started investigating how I could get other people to interface with art
Yeah.
in everyday life. And that is how I started my tentative steps in creating various, the scarves, for instance. And that is how Noji Art was born. So in a sense, you're right. It was sort of born out of a certain level of pain. But the creative process in general
But
for
I'd
me
like to just stop you
is
for a minute and talk about, if anybody can see my shirt, it's a crisp white shirt. And this, I don't know what you call this. Is it a bamboo?
palms and fronds. Palms and fronds. Julia, you're freezing. I don't know. Am I frozen? Can people see me? Julia, you're frozen. Can you hear me? Hello? The technology should obey. Oh. Hi. The technology should obey. Hello? Hi. The technology should obey. Hello, Julia. Okay, I think I just got to wait until Julia comes back.
I'm
Hi.
back.
I already said a prayer. I said the technology should obey. What is all this? Anyway.
Yeah, was Julia actually in Frozen Part 2? Oh my word, that's so funny.
Anyway.
I just saw this blank screen. I'm like, no, you didn't do that. If you know the number of gadgets we have, so we're switching from one to the other to the other, and
Wow.
that's a conversation for another day. I tell you, that's a conversation for another day. So I actually wanted to show off my crisp white shirts from Noji Art, palms and fronds from Noji Art, and that's also from Noji Art.
Oh, the limited edition print, canvas
Limited
print.
edition print. Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk a little bit about how I met Lara. I met her online, and for those who yeah, it's really hard to believe that we found it hard to believe that we actually met ourselves this year, right? It was earlier this year.
No, it was last year. You know,
Was
this
it
year
last year?
has run by. Yeah, the year has run by so fast.
Yes, yes. No,
That
it was earlier this
year.
year because I came for a wedding, and I know that wedding was in January.
Oh, was when we actually physically saw each other,
Physically
but we
saw
were
each
chatting.
other. Yeah, we were
Yes, yes,
chatting.
yes.
We were chatting.
Several
Yes,
months after
yes. Oh,
we became
Elvira, there's an
friends.
echo. I'm so sorry. If I touch anything, I'm scared because there's something I touched and then it went straight to my iTunes and my music. I hope you can get. I hope you can hear. I really hope you can hear. So sorry, Elvira. I hope you can hear. Okay. Please let me know if there's still an echo. I don't know what I would do about it, but let me know if there's an echo. Okay, well, nobody's commenting, so I guess there's no echo. Oh, thank you, Elvira. Thank you very much. Now let's dig into it. I've read that the inspiration for Noji art comes from the nexus of the beauty of the earth, the diversity of nature, and the shapes and forms of the African woman. You can see the shapes and forms of the African woman there.
Yes. That's the most contemporary.
That's the most contemporary, yeah.
Contemporary piece, yes. Yeah.
So would you say that that's your muse? The earth, nature, and what you see around you, the people you see around you, would those comprise your muse?
Absolutely.
Okay.
In fact, there's a lot of it that happens subconsciously. And it was after a long time, after I created some of the pieces, that other people told me, oh, this is your older daughter. Oh, this is your second daughter. This is,
Okay.
So I mean, I think this happens to all artists. We have the input that comes inside us and it comes out somehow. And I remember when I was in interior architecture,
Architecture.
Many of the ladies who were in my perspective drawings, my brother used to say, "Oh, but you are drawing yourself," without, you know. So yes, it's what's around me. There's a piece that I drew which came out of a time when I went downtown Lagos and I saw the monorail project, and I am, I am. When I was in architecture, I wasn't the scatter cushions and curtains kind of interior architect. I was in the nuts and bolts, because I think in another life I would have been an engineer or something like that. But I really enjoy the junctions and so on of
Okay.
metallic things and construction and big pipes and nuts and bolts and all that sort of thing.
Wow.
So I was quite excited when I went downtown and I saw the crane and also some of the details under the bridge, some of the ways in which there were massive metal plates on the side of the bridge and all the bolts that kept it together and so on. And those are the sort of things. So that went in somehow and came out as my piece, which is I call Las Giddy. Las Giddy
Okay.
on My Mind is what I call that
Okay.
piece. And it has
Okay.
shown up in different products in the Noji Art stable. And then, the thing about women, I observe women. I'm one myself, as everybody knows. That's even an odd statement. But these days, you have to be careful. These days, you have to be careful about making such statements. But
You do.
but being I am something of a people watcher, but not in a creepy voyeur sort of way. But just that my creativity just makes me observe my environment. And so one of the first few women I drew that I put on scarves were women wearing gele. And also because if you look all over the world at all of the most beautiful scarves in the world, you will see that some coming from China have the cherry blossoms, some coming
Yeah.
from India have their elephants, and so on and so on. And there's a stereotype about what comes out of Africa. It's got to be geometric patterns with lots of colors and women carrying pots on their heads with a baby on their back and that sort of
And
thing.
starving babies.
And I like to think of myself as a contemporary African artist. So I really thought, nowhere is there an image of a woman wearing gele or Iruambuba or something like that on a scarf. And so that was one of the reasons why I decided to go ahead with celebrating bold African femininity, because I observed that there was always a shift in psyche and behavior and so on once a Nigerian woman puts her gele on. You know
I
that,
tell you.
you usually you have worn everything. Once you put that gele on, oh man, the woman becomes unstoppable. And I've said this repeatedly. She becomes unstoppable. She's just carrying a particular poise and power and elegance. It can be your house help. And I'm not saying that in a derogatory way, but every single woman, once she has her gele on, it's a different story. And
Oh,
so
yes.
that energy is what came to me as an artist and what I was expressing in some of the things that I've drawn. It's that energy that comes.
Okay. There's this ongoing conversation about nature and nurture when it comes to art. And you and I have
Right.
had this conversation a little bit, so I'd like you to
Yeah.
amplify it. Yeah. So you were born with it, yeah. But how deeply were you born with it? Tell us a little bit. Give us a little bit more about how you were born with it? Because yes, you've been drawing and doing all of these things, spontaneous creativity from when you were a child. Or how deep do these
Yes.
roots go? How deep do these roots go?
Well, I have had a long time to think about this. And I remember when I went to Middlesex University for my admission interview, I had my portfolio with me and so on. And one of the things I told them was that my maiden name, Onojide, literally means the rebirth or the renaissance of art. And this is something that I told them just as something cool to tell them and something to score me points in the interview. But over time, I have examined this, I've talked to family members, some of my senior family members, and so on, and discovered that in some ways, the artistic gifting is quite strong in my family. And so that is where the name Noji Art comes from. The spelling is Onajide, but because
You have to
I
forgive me,
made
I'm a
it,
Calabar girl.
sorry, no, don't worry, don't worry.
You have to
So
forgive
because,
me.
so just to
I'm
make
going
it
to go back
easier
and
to
rewrite that.
pronounce,
Yeah.
just to make it easier to pronounce, I just made it Noji. But that was a way in which I was acknowledging that I was standing on the shoulders of so many people before me. And I wanted to celebrate that legacy. So that's where the name Noji Art comes from. And my brother is an architect. Um, my two sisters are each of them creative in their own way. It just runs in the family. And all the four children born by my mother are creative in one way or other, very palpably so. And all our children are writers, artists, musicians, one or all three or whatever, all our children. So it's quite clear that there's a strain there. And it
Yes.
would be unfair for me to say it was only the Onojide line, but my Akpata heritage also brings with it the, I celebrate that as well in some of my artwork. It
Yeah,
brings
I've
with
seen
it the
that.
rich tradition.
The Benin
It brings with it the
princess.
rich
Yes.
tradition of Bini people. So,
Yes.
as an artist, I feel that my ancestors on both sides they've all contributed to who I am and how I got here. And it's a very it's deeply spiritual in many ways. And
Yeah.
it's something almost intangible and ethereal, but I do acknowledge the fact that I didn't just come out creative from nowhere. But I'm standing on the shoulders of these people who were before me.
The
But
roots go deep, eh? The roots go really deep.
yes, and then as a Christian, I find one of the most dominant or obvious attributes of God is creativity. And He's given that to
Absolutely.
absolutely every human being. And so I have quietly spoken to various people who have not thought of themselves as creative, maybe because they're accountants or they're educationists or something or other. I've been able to tell them what about how they do what they do is creative.
It's creative.
Every single human being is creative because God created us in His own image, deposited
And we
inside
have that.
us His
Yeah.
DNA. It is unfortunate that the educational system and unfortunately the attitudes of some parents have stamped out the pursuit of and connecting with and owning that creativity. Because creativity has, until now, I mean, it's until recently, creativity has had a bad name in terms of, you're going to starve, or no, you should just face your book and be a doctor, lawyer, this, that, and the other.
Or maybe you're a dropout. Yeah.
Or maybe you're a dropout. And
Yeah.
for the longest time, the subtext of what I received when I was growing up was almost like, if you are a creative and you're not a whiz at maths or whatever it is, it means that you're somehow less intelligent. But what I discovered very late in life is that I was actually brilliant. But the people who taught me when I was growing up didn't know how to teach children like me, because
I see
I
there's
wasn't.
creativity in teaching as well. There is
Yes.
creativity in
And
teaching.
now there's
Yeah.
so much information out there now that there's more space for people who have been gifted in particular ways to excel. And, I'm just thankful that
Yeah.
I have always had the solid backing of my parents and all my siblings, my family, my husband, now my children, my sisters-in-law, my friends. I've always had that solid backing. But it has been actually quite a scary, painful journey to get here, where I own it, and I tell people that I think of myself, or I call myself, a creative and design powerhouse. It took it,
Hello.
it took pain to
Okay. I'm
it
going
took
to take you up
pain.
on that
It took
off camera. I'm going to take you up on
it took
that.
it took me a while to get there and to own it without any buts, or without
No apologies.
any no
Yeah.
apologies about that, and just understanding that, I am brilliantly intelligent, but not in the way that is getting A stars in exams. And
And you don't
even
have to
that,
be.
I don't have to be. But even that,
Mm.
I know that if I had the kind of teaching and support that many children do have today, nobody would have been able to touch me either. With my, and this is not saying that my academics were absolutely horrible. I just had particular subjects I was better at.
I'm going to ask your
And
mom.
no, but case in point, I did so badly at mathematics. I did my O levels twice. I failed mathematics, and then I went to school in England where I was taught differently, and I then passed. In fact,
You
my
know,
tutor told me that I just missed an A grade. When I told my
I was going to tell
mathematics
you, Lara,
tutor, mhm,
in Nigeria. Uh-huh. No, I was going to
mhm,
tell you, Lara, that it's creativity. I agree with you. Runs through everything. I find there's several
everything.
threads I find interesting about what you said. The fact that you're so drawn to angles, nuts, bolts, big machinery, and then there's this gentle, soft, flowing part of you that comes through. I find that interesting. I'm just going to put a pin on that, and I'll come back to that. But I want to agree with
Okay.
you because my daughter had to. She had to do her primary school. She had to go to two schools, and the first school I very quickly realized, because I was that child who was told you won't amount to anything because you don't know math. My sister is on this program, so she can attest to that, And
Corroborate, yeah.
I realized that my daughter was going through she was going through the same problem, and she was kept at the back of the class, and they kept telling me. I mean, it was when she was given a provisional promotion to grade 5. I said, "Why is it provisional?" And they said she didn't do well in maths. I said, "Are you teaching her? Are you teaching her properly?"
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
we had this
Yeah.
conversation with her class teacher, head of academics, to the head of school, and they all didn't see a problem. They wanted the same teacher who was not teaching her well and putting her at the back of the class to teach her again after school. I said, certainly not. I'm not going to put my child through that kind of trauma. And we changed schools, and I tell you, the person I
Yeah.
see today, who incidentally wants to put me
Everything changed.
in bondage
I
for the
bet.
rest of my life because she wants to go to Harvard. She wants to go to Harvard. She wants to do everything crazy, but
Ah,
she said she wants to
wow.
get her MBA from Harvard, you know. And
Wow.
everything changed. She's now doing math like, I mean, when I hear her talking about oh, I've frozen again. Okay, I've unfrozen. Thank God. You know, when I hear her
Yes, I can
talking
see
about
you. I can see you moving.
what's it called? Factors, fractions. Okay. I hear her talking about these things. I am really surprised and very happily so. And I think this is something that everybody needs to know, that creativity is not just when you pick up a pen or a brush or something and draw or create. It's how interesting, how well are you doing what you're doing? How well are you doing what you're doing? How, what
It's
twist do you
different
bring to
ways.
the play? You know?
Yes, it's different ways of doing something, I think, displays creativity. For instance, I think you have children with who come into this world. Everybody comes into this world with how their brain is wired, and it's good that the educational system trains everybody's brain in a particular way, and there are very good aspects of that, which means it's training your brain to be receptive to knowledge in a particular way and to be able to onboard knowledge and to build knowledge precept upon precept. Um, but there are some people
Yeah.
whose brains just work slightly differently. And, you know, it's wonderful that now there are these images of a very popular poster, or how should I say it, drawing I saw, in which it said you are grading a fish on its ability to climb a tree. That is the best
Climb
way
the
in which I
tree.
can
Yeah,
describe
absolutely.
how how limiting it is if you don't have a creative, educative environment. And you know, I survived because I had a creative, educative environment at home. But there are many children who don't, whose parents have come out of the same system where they believe that it's a waste of time for a child to pursue what is perceived at this limited definition of creativity.
I think they okay.
Yes.
Lara, are we still together? Or have
Yes,
I
I'm
gone off?
here. No, you are there. I
Are we
can
still
see you.
together? Okay, oh
You're
great,
still there. I
great.
can see you.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I don't trust this technology. I don't trust it.
Oh,
You know.
honestly.
So my coach, I have a coach, right? And my coach, she's called Bidemi Makmodi, and she tells me that everybody, for every gift you have, you can deploy it in four different ways, at least four different
Wow.
income streams, at least four.
Mm-hmm.
How many manifestations do you have as Lara Cookie? Because I think I ran out of fingers on one hand. So tell me
Oh my goodness.
how many
Wow. I've never been asked that question. And actually, I'm thinking about it. There, I don't know. There are as many manifestations as there are manifestations. I mean, I'm somebody who
I'm
many
not going
times
to let you go off with that answer.
I spend a lot of time thanking God because there's several. I mean, do you want a number? I can't give you a number because there's so many. There's so many.
Yeah, let's go there. We've got the
One.
bookmark.
Should we start? Oh, are you looking at the product lines? Okay.
We've got we've
Uh-huh.
got the books, but they're all
Yes. You've got the
manifestations. Yeah,
scarves. Okay, you've
yeah.
got the scarves.
We've
You've
got the
got the
books.
kaftans.
We've got the
You've got
scarves.
the,
You have
yes. You have the ties.
captains.
You have the pocket squares.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Ties.
the pocket
We
squares.
have the
I have had t-shirts.
what else do we have? We have oh, okay. I didn't get into your t-shirt phase. That would be nice. You know, we have the shawls.
Maybe
We
it will
have
come
the
back. The shawls.
oh no, we have a lot. We have a lot. We have the
But even this, what I'm wearing,
um,
this, these poncho tops,
we
these
have this.
poncho tops.
We have this.
Oh yeah,
Yes, the poncho tops. Yeah,
these poncho tops
yeah.
honestly came out of me.
The paintings.
I got a square. I got a square of fabric and I played around with it and played around with it until this was created. And then I started playing around with it and found that this is one of the easiest ways of wearing this, just tying it like this. But then you could tie it around your hand 2 or 3 times. You can
Okay.
tie it at the back. I found that with this one, and that is creativity just in this, whatever fabric. So creativity isn't just uh, the things that I have drawn and put on things. It's like this, which later I realized it reminded me of a sort of Issey Miyake sort of philosophy, in which one garment um, is
Kind of thing.
adaptable to different ways. So that is
It's
one
worn in different
avenue
ways.
of my
Yeah.
in one in
Yeah.
different ways. So that's one avenue of
Yes.
my creativity, which I am still pursuing. You know, the idea of there being fluidity in a garment and garments that are easy to wear and you can change the way they look. They give you so many different ways of looking. So that's the philosophy behind most of the garments that are created. I've created this crisp shirt that you're wearing. A young lady whom I posted on my
Hmm.
page tied one of the scarves around it and wore it as a dress. It looked amazing on her.
She
So
has a waistline.
yeah, we
She
are
has a
fast.
waistline.
She has a waistline to she has a waistline to tie on her. You know,
She has a
so maybe for
waistline. I will wear
the
mine.
younger
Oh yes.
generation, uh, the younger generation can wear it that
Yeah,
way.
my daughter will probably wear it like that because they do this kind
Yeah,
of thing. Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes,
or just wear it as a
yes. But
dress.
Lara, let's
You
talk
know.
about traditionally collaborations, apprenticeships, and partnerships were part of art.
Yeah,
I've read somewhere that people like Da Vinci, Cavagero, is that his name? And forgive me if I murder that name, but Cavaggio, I think that's the name. There's one whose name starts with a T. Those are the three I read about that they had. I'm sure many of them had apprentices who actually, well, they start off a concept and then the apprentices would finish it up, you know. So there's been a lot of collaboration on arts, partnerships, and apprenticeships. And do you find that now we are moving towards that idea of the single artists, solitary artists, more than the communal artists? Because traditionally we had that.
yes, absolutely. We did have. Uh, you're frozen again. Come back, Julia.
Thank you
Wow.
for thank you for keeping it
You're
together.
back.
Wow.
You're back.
I'm back. I
Welcome
don't know
back.
why I keep popping out. I keep, oh, okay, yes, it's in Caravaggio. That is it. Lara, there's a
Okay.
question here I think you should ask because this friend of mine, can you see it on the screen?
Yes, she said she would like to wear the prints in many, yes, in many yards. This is something that I've looked at, um, but because of the economies of scale, when you do unique prints, the costs are usually quite high. Um, so that is why some of the fabrics that we designed for our products, we just used for certain products like the art boo-boos and so on. But yet, this is something we're looking into, and we've heard this from a lot of our customers that they would love to make different kinds of garments out of our prints. We have,
It, is it possible that you also have a collaboration between because right now I think you do all you design, you come up with the prints, come up with the ideas, and then you also do the or does somebody else do the designs for the different outfits?
what it is that to start off, I was doing absolutely everything myself. I have had various conversations with different people and different companies looking at the option of expanding into collaborations and so on. So it's something that I'm looking into.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah,
Because I'm also thinking about the way that some of these design what would I call them? Great designers. Like I think what's the guy with the ponytail and the glasses?
oh, we shouldn't show our years. It's
Honestly,
gone out of
I
my
tell you.
head. But
No,
anyway,
that's
go
not
on.
Ralph
What
Lauren.
about it?
Yeah, but you know, he had a brand. He is a brand, personal brand, and he had a
Yeah,
brand as
yeah.
well. But then he also went to be the creative director in another fashion
Somewhere,
house.
yes.
Yes, for a
Yeah,
while, and I think they do that from time to time. They really do that from
yes.
time to time. And my question is that can't we scale up? Because in scaling up, you really have to, how do I call it? Be willing to take a back seat and bring in a guest artist. Karl Lagerfeld. Thank you, Jerry.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Karl Lagerfeld. Yes.
Absolutely.
Bring in a
Absolutely.
guest artist, and
Absolutely.
even if what you're doing is a limited collection, but they bring a different vibe into your work. Yeah, John
Yeah.
Galliano did that as well. Yeah, a lot of artists they leave what they're doing, the brand is growing, and they come and enhance and that's what I find is so beautiful about the creative economy. that people just, musicians have been doing it for, they call it collabo, they've been collaborating for
Yes, yes, they go
years.
and work with
Yes,
other bands and so
yes.
on.
And
Yeah,
it just amplifies your voice. So please, Lara,
absolutely.
while you're thinking about it, can you think about it a bit quicker? You know, Somebody also said Emeka is an artist, and I'd like to show his question. Um, he says you
Absolutely.
could collaborate with
Collaborate with some textile
some
artists.
textile artists. Yes, so that's
Absolutely.
that's another way to.
Emeka should send us a DM.
Emeka, please send her a DM.
Is he
Her
is he
her
Emeka
link.
a textile artist himself?
Emeka, answer your question, Biko. you know, Well, Lara, tell me what is your next scary or audacious goal? It has to be something that scares you. Where are
I
you
think
going
we've
from
just
here?
talked about it. I think we've just talked about it. It's scaling up.
Okay.
It's scaling
What
up
could help you
and
scale? What could help you scale?
exactly what we've been talking about. This morning, I've had long conversations with one of my mentors about it. And it's about expanding the database of inputs and collaborating, which there are some ways in which it's scary because this is my baby. This is my baby, as it were, and I've I've expressed myself in so many different ways and so on. And, I need to move beyond that and collaborate with a few other people. Now, when I started the Nogia brand, the intention was always to for it to be a platform to showcase many artists. So, I mean, it was my job to first establish where we are now and get a following and the interest and all that, and then move on to collaborating with several other artists, and then being on a or several platforms that will make all this available all over the world, so that somebody in Australia who loves our stuff will get our stuff, and in the US and in India and in the UK and Europe and so on. Yeah.
So there's a lot of talk about domestic tourism right now. So I'll also talk about domestic, like infiltrating and dominating this patch of the earth, because people. Oh, you need to hear this. They say it's time. It's time to let your baby out of the house.
Of the house. Yes, so
Your baby's grown up.
it's true. It's true. It's true.
you know. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
wonderful. I've seen what Emeka said.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
So
that's why I call
that's
it
your
my
what's
baby,
next.
because psychologically you find that with most entrepreneurs, their relationship with their enterprise is a bit like that. You know, there's a gestation period, it's born, and then it's a toddler, and it's time for this toddler to stop eating mashed food.
Yeah.
It's time to start chewing meat, as it were.
Chewing meat
So that,
and bones.
yeah, yes, so that's where we are now. The part
Okay.
where mama has to let go and allow, the baby to run around and to start
Well,
chewing meat and
you
so
can
on.
put
So you don't.
trackers. You can put trackers to begin with.
Now,
Just track. Like you can track on iPhone and you track where
yes.
your child is going until you feel, oh, okay, they're good. I did bring up my child
So,
well, so they can fly. You know.
exactly. So, yes,
Yes. And this is
our
from
babies
Yemisi.
grow
Yemisi, this is
up.
a great,
They
Great,
get
very
married,
great.
collaboration with
Yes,
other artists, and thrive and bear fruit, and we look on
yeah,
with pride. Absolutely. Thank you for that comment,
absolutely.
Verity. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, Mr. Please,
absolutely.
can you
Absolutely.
stick with it with her because I'm not in Lagos, so I can't say this into her ears all the time. Tell her
But
consistently. We need
with physical distancing, we can't,
but
it's all online
she
now.
can keep 6 feet. She can keep 6 feet away from you. I am all the way in Port Harcourt. So she can do a drive by and say, remember your baby is growing. you know.
Don't worry.
So this
Even
is
as you
the
speak, my brother and so many, my husband, I have many people who are talking this talk in my ear, and it's something I know and I realize, and I'm prepared for. So
so
yeah,
you're
Missy,
ready to
you
stop being
join
a
the you.
helicopter
Yes,
mom.
a
You stop being
helicopter
a
mom.
helicopter mom.
So yeah, Missy, you can join the band though.
So we don't have any more questions. Do we have any more questions for Lara? Because she's the first in our series of Transformers. Lara transforms. Actually, you need to also check her out as a blogger. I think it was between Wednesday and Tuesday and Wednesday, we were talking about the Niger Mega Diva Babe. Am I correct?
Yes, that's the piece
Yeah,
behind me.
that's the piece behind her. Now there's a blog. There's a blog as well.
That I wrote about it.
Yeah. Thank you, Reti.
Ah,
Reinforce. Thank
Ireti
you.
says my
Thank you.
sisters will reinforce. Ah,
Yes. Thank
thanks,
you. Thank
Ireti.
you. I am so happy that you have a sacred circle around you. You have so much support, you
I
know.
do. I'm so
Yes,
blessed. I'm so blessed,
yes,
honestly.
yes, yes. You know. So yes. So she has a blog. That's another creative expression that she has. And
Expression.
yeah, and it's such a great expression. You need to read about the Niger Mega Diva Babe. And what really gets me is not just the way she writes, it's the way she says things like skolonto, skelente, and then she
Onigelege,
draws
skentele.
skentele, and then the
Skontolo, you're right.
skontolo, and then the all these images in between. So it's a real fusion of in fact, I got a 3D experience when I read that blog. It's something I'm going to return to and enjoy. So please follow her at Noji Art. Um, that's on Instagram and
Yes, and on
also
Facebook.
Lara. And on Facebook? What's your blog? What's your blog called?
It's a bit of a long name, but I'll just say it. It's
Okay,
Lara's blog and stuff dot
Lara's.
blog and stuff dot blogspot.com. And
I'm trying.
when you log into the site, you can just, if you just search for NMDB or Niger Mega Diva Babe, you find that blog.
Okay. Okay, I think I
That
got it
blog,
right. So.
okay, I haven't seen it.
Mhm.
Will it come up in
It's in the
my?
comment section. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
All right.
Okay, let me just make it. Let me show it. So yeah, is
Oh
that
no,
correct?
dot Lara's blog and stuff dot blogspot.com.
Dot. Okay.
Yes, it's Lara's blog and stuff dot blogspot.com. I hope I've given you the, yeah, that's the right address.
Let me see. Is that correct now?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Great. Thank you, Nkechi. Hi. Hi, that's another extremely creative mind. Hmm. Well, I want to thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming and staying on, despite the fact that I made a couple of disappearing acts. I want to thank you, Lara,
Ah,
for talking to me. I think we've just scratched the surface. But the last question I'd like to ask you is as you scale up, do you actually see this as a business or as um, just a means of expressing yourself? And if it
I
is a
see it as
business,
a business.
what is your goal? Women typically don't like to talk about money. I like money. I like to talk about money. What's your goal to make a business? What's your goal?
Well, it started out as a means of expressing myself. To be honest,
Yes,
I told you about the history of it and so on,
yes,
and I think that must be definitely incorporated in the big, hairy, audacious goal. Is to, because I mean we've done well. It's not like we haven't done well. We've done well, but it needs to go beyond this and be a business. Um, and grows more money and so on and so on.
Did you say
Indeed,
small money?
more money grows more
Okay,
money, big money,
okay.
big
Thank
big money,
you.
big money, big money. So I that is why I talked about the global thing, which is not to not to belittle the local tourism and making a big footprint here, but
Yeah.
we are living in a global village now. So I think it would be dangerous if I did not think global from the get go, and I was thinking only of Nigeria. I mean, last week we shipped some things to Italy, to some village in Italy,
Okay.
from right here in Lagos, yes. And we've
I need
shipped to Canada, we've shipped to East Africa, we've shipped to the UK, So I don't think I don't think of myself as, oh, I know that I'm situated here in Nigeria physically, but I think of myself in terms of the next steps, being a brand that has global impact.
okay, but with the local
Yeah,
relevance. So Lara, we
with
need to
local
feel your
relevance.
footprint. We need to feel your footprint in Nigeria. That's what I'm saying. Not just the people
Yes,
over there.
absolutely.
Yes, yes.
Yes, indeed,
So
indeed.
and we need to make money. I'm all about the
Yes, so
yeah. We need to make money and we need to leave a legacy. So thank you so much, Lara. Thank you for chatting with us today, and for everybody who's joined us, thank you for joining and thank you for staying on. And Lara, it wasn't so painful, was it?
it was nice. It was great. It's always great having hanging out with you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
I hope somebody has heard something that's made them think, oh, right, I think I'm going to go along this path, which is creativity. Uh,
I hope so too. I really hope so too. Thank you so much,
yeah.
Yemisi. And now I know how much you love Lara, and I'm at peace. She, she's fine. She's in good hands. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Yemisi, and thank you everyone who has signed in
And
and who
take
has
care, everybody.
watched.
Lara, take care of yourself. Everyone, stay
Thank
safe.
you.
Sonia, my baby, safe.
All right.
Lara, see you, sis. Oh no, you're supposed to call me
Okay.
sis. I've
Yes,
got a few
so you're
days
a
on
few
you.
days. You're a few days
Ah,
older
yeah, yeah.
than me. So sis.
Oh yes. So you have yes,
If in
yes,
the Yoruba culture, you'd be sister me. And so,
yes. I'll accept it.
so sister me, thank you so much
Yes,
for having me. And
thank you.
yeah, so everybody look out for the baby,
Yes,
becoming a tall, strapping individual and bursting
yes,
out there.
yes. Six packs and all the curves. Everybody, bye bye. Take
Yes.
care. Thank you, Chuko. Thank
Bye.
you for.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye.